I think the first myth or the first error which we make is we all think, we need to first have the money to actually manage our money. In fact, it's the other way around. We need to start managing our money so that we can have that money. We think that money is evil. I think my humble realization is money is in fact just a multiplier.
This is the Native Talk Show, episode 4 with Francis Haokip. He is the current CEO of Pragnya Advisory Limited and an IIM and IIT alumni, a husband and a father. So welcome to the show, Mr. Haokip.
Thank you so much, Richard. It's an honor and absolute pleasure to be here.
We've been wanting to have you on the show for quite a long time, and we've been planning. Finally, we are here. So
Right.
I'll give you a scenario to start off.
Okay.
So you and I are going to team up, and we're going to
Sure.
make a startup based on the current market in the hometown. So we'll
Okay.
have 2 lakhs as a seed capital, and
Okay.
another 2 lakh as company assets. We'll have to be
Okay.
profitable within this next 6 months and
Okay.
grow at a considerably good rate. So
Okay.
how would we go about that? What sector should we choose? What kind of product should we be launching? How would we go about? And then how do we disseminate our 2 lakh seed capital?
Okay. Very, very interesting questions. In fact, if you had actually a much bigger amount, we'd have actually lots of other opportunities. But since 2 lakh is actually quite limited,
So
there could be,
yeah.
yeah.
So the reason
Sure,
2
go ahead.
lakh is
yeah,
it's something that it's something that is very achievable for a normal person.
true.
Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. So, when lots of startup and, lots of business depends on the amount of capital, because the amount of business or opportunities which you can capitalize on depends on the initial seed capital or the amount you can put forward. And as you rightly said, 2 lakhs is something which, is affordable or can be managed by lots of people back home. So with 2 lakhs, actually, as you also rightly said, it's limited. But I think few opportunities back home for people with 2 lakhs is you could open up a small store, like you have the normal dukans, right? Where you take people from the wholesale market and you actually sell it at the retail prices, and you get a marked up of maybe 2 rupees, 3 rupees, or 5 rupees per item. I think for back home, I think lots of people are already doing that, and I think that is a good place to start with somebody at the rate of having a seed capital of 2 lakhs, because you just need to get a small space, which I think with back home lots of that can be managed without a huge capital expenditure, right? And land is usually the highest capital or the highest initial startup cost, which most of us already have, right? In close to our house, or somewhere we can actually rent it from somebody in a good location. So that initial setup cost in terms of the land and having that small store built up, that can be managed at very minimal cost back home. So I think that's a huge advantage. And with the 2 lakhs, actually most of it can be spent into getting the initial supplies that you want to actually keep in the store. So I think with 2 lakhs, that's something which is small pandugan that we have back home. That's, I think, it's a very good business which can be started. The second, which I see lots of people doing right now, is this second-hand supply.
Yeah.
Right, so the open doors sale, and lots of people actually doing that, I think, in the lockdown. So that also is very low capital intensive, I would say, because you just have to take buy one bale, open it, and then sell, so you can keep the capital running. So you don't need a very huge startup capital in that sense, right?
Yeah.
That could be the other business we could look at. The other, I would say, coming from the finance background, okay, it might be slow. We could be profitable immediately, and it could be a little slow. Is sort of a small finance or lending, NBFC sort of thing in the company. It can't be a big NBFC because, as you know, NBFCs at least require 2 crores and big money to start with. But at least at the starting level, we could start a small lending business, whereby. Unlike our typical money lending business, where people actually keep paying you the interest, and at the end of maybe 2 or 3 years after you want to repay, you actually repay the principal. So that makes it hard for lots of other borrowers. So if we are starting our business, I would suggest we replicate the bank model, whereby we say, okay, fine, we'll allow you to pay it back in the form of EMIs, right? Whereby you repay the part of the principal as well. So that's easier for you. So maybe in 3 years or in 2 years, you would have repaid, your principal as well. So, and for us also, because the EMI would keep coming in, so we can recycle that, we can relend that again and keep the business going. So that's probably the 3 business we could start off that comes directly to mind right now. But if I have any other business, we can of course sit down and chat further.
And I think out of the 3, I think the first and the third one are more scalable in terms of going big.
That's true. That's true. That's
and
true.
the second one, I doubt it would be scalable, because we'll still be like those a small shop, or so we will at the end of the day still be a second-hand shop, right? Whereas the first one can be a variety shop going to a bigger setup, and then the third one can be a microfinancing option, slowly going up, and then you can in fact assist a lot of the business in their startup. So I think that's a good option. But
maybe of course one option, given our skill set, I have from a finance background, you are from a design background, so we could also open maybe some design company, where it's a low capital intensive as well. We just need a laptop, and the technical skill. Counting or backing with your backing of your skill set, probably that's the other business we could consider.
Exactly.
Right.
So finance is one of the biggest, whether it's be within our AMI tribe or within the bigger context, or as everywhere, it's been a problem, right? Managing wealth, managing your own finances. So are you saying that everybody can be wealthy, or including person like me?
Of course. See, the good thing about let's say our economy, the Indian economy, or India, any sort of a democratic or any capitalist economy. Okay, we are not fully a capitalist economy like maybe the US, but still, even India is not too bad in that sense. And the best thing about that kind of economy, or the capitalist economy, is irrespective of your background, right? Irrespective of your upbringing, anybody can become a millionaire or a billionaire, right? Because as long everybody has the right to equal opportunities, right? So whether it's the education system, or even opportunities, or even the business. So the good thing about, let's say, even India is, as long as you have what it takes and you are willing to make the sacrifices and put in the hard work, you can become rich, you can become a millionaire, you can become successful. So this is not limited, whereby only a certain select of people can only reach the top or become rich. So I think that is a good time, or a good country, or a good economy that we are in, whereby it's up to you, provided you are willing to put in the hard work and willing to make the sacrifices. Anybody can become rich. So I think definitely anybody can become rich, including both of us.
And what do you see, we'll concentrate mostly on a lot of our community. So what do you see one thing that everybody make mistakes when managing their finances?
Actually, I'll just highlight 2-3 myths or mistakes which we make, and which I also personally make, and which is the history of the background of the YouTube channel and the personal finance, interest in personal finance and other finance management, is, even when I upload all these videos, lots of the comments which I get, and the first myth I think which we need to destroy is, people say, I'll watch your video after I have some money to manage, right? I don't have the money. I'll think about personal finance when I have the money. In fact, it's the other way around, right? Exactly. You need to manage your money to have the money. So, which is also a realization which I personally also had, because as you know, I actually worked with NTPC after my engineering, and I actually shared in few of my discussions and videos. I say, okay, maybe if I get another 30,000 per month now, I could be personally or financially quite self-sufficient. Then when I went to SEBI, in fact my salary went up by more than that. Then I started thinking, maybe if I now have 40,000-50,000 more per month, maybe I'll be self-sufficient, right? So then I moved to Pragnya, and it did increase. Then again, maybe if I now get 1 lakh more per month, maybe I'll be self-sufficient, right? So there's no end to it. And but my simple realization was, it's not about the money which is coming in, it's about how you manage the money which has come in. So that's when I actually personally took lots of interest, in personal finance and how you actually manage your, finances. In fact, in one of the videos, I've highlighted the 50-30-20 rule, or the 5 buckets in which we should allocate our income and all that. So I think the first myth or the first error which we make is we all think, we need to first have the money to actually manage our money. In fact, it's the other way around. We need to start managing our money so that we can have that money. So I think that's probably the first mistake and the first myth. And the second myth, because we also all come from a Christian background and all that, and most of the times I think one of the feeling, sometimes poverty is kind of overrated. In the sense we think that money is evil.